which you can measure against bricks of your house sort of thing. And of course they grow up from 2 metres, hand-sized potato-like tubers 2 metres down on the sand clay interface sort of thing. So it's through flooded soils. You got to ask yourself the question, why don't the tubers rot off sort of thing? But I think we've learned why they don't rot off. We can now grow things in a flooded bucket that don't rot off, and sort of it's progressively taking us back to charcoal, maybe back to polystyrene. You know, the beanbag prillings, as I used to use them in the past. But as I said, they it's very hard not have them float away sort of thing. So until they've been wetted down sort of thing, or wetted down, I suppose. But anyway, that's about it for this one. I think I said the big news out of Europe is there's probably going to be no Oktoberfest this year, and the secondly is the French are probably going to go absolutely ballistic. Maybe they'll go through the channel and strangle the bugger that stopped them from having croissants in the morning. Because I'm sure the French are going to be pretty damn pissed if they can't have a croissant in the morning before they go on a riotous journey through Paris. And he said, "How is the weather in Paris?" Monsieur Olo, how is the weather in Paris? I love Jack Chatty. I mean, I think Mrs. Ulo's Holiday is probably my favourite one, but I like Mononc as well, and Jour de Fête, yeah, it's all right. But I think his best work, I think, was Mrs. Ulo's Holiday. It's just fantastic. You can watch it over and over and over again. I love the music. Oh, I love the music. So yeah, coffee bar music, as they say. Anyway, well, that's about it for this one. I thought how we progressed. We've definitely solved the growing things in a flooded bucket sort of situation, and we've cleared up all the bullshit, I think. when my thesis finally comes out, you're going to get a bloody fucking shock, because it sort of it goes with the orthodoxy, it goes totally against the orthodoxy, which is probably why we had all these sort of, you know, 1 step forward, 2 step back sort of situation. But as I said, I've got this little test now. I can do a little test and it will tell me whether it's probably going to be a negative one and whether it's going to be one of these 1 steps, 2 steps backwards. Because in the past we always had this sort of thing. It was almost every step forward was almost like serendipity. You had to just discover it by accident almost. And you do that, and if you try to make a theory and a logical step forward, it would always be a failure sort of thing. It would be one of these 1 step forwards, 2 step backwards sort of thing, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back sort of thing. Or even worse, 2 steps back and 1 step. But now I've got this little test that suggests whether it's going to be a failure or not. So, as I said, it was a big surprise because I tried it on potash. And of course, there's all this sort of thing saying that all CPs respond to high potassium orchid fertilisers, you know, and I do agree that CPs do like a bit of potassium, but I did this spot check and it came out totally negative, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. It's telling me I should not use high potassium orchid fertilisers on CPs. Basically, that's what the test was telling me. So that's how I'm going forward at the moment. No high potassium on your CP sort of thing, because according to my little spot check, it's a negative. So if the spot, I'm learning, as I said, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. So I'm learning from my own research sort of thing. So I'm trusting my own research now, and as I said, I'm making progress now. I'm able to grow CP-related weeds in flooded buckets, and they don't rot off. So, which probably will explain why Drosera gigantea with his hand-sized potato-like tubers don't rot off when they're 2 metres down in flooded sand. Okay, and of course they also have this lovely glaucous, almost turquoisey look to them, and like they're reddy purple down at the stipulate base, and they've got this lovely turquoisey, almost, you know, blue look, almost real blue look to them, and then they go up to this sort of golden yellow orange sort of thing, and get progressively more yellow as you go out towards the somewhat yellow golden trap sort of thing. So, but they're all small traps in comparison to the size of the... They've still got the slightly standard size sort of shield-shaped traps, and you're thinking, well, is it the case in the past they were a bit like a blackberry, you know? They corral animals. When we had the megafauna, you know, 50,000 years ago, and before that, before they were eaten out because they were finger-licking good, as the Aborigines probably found out, did they corral some of the larger megafauna into a stand of Drosophilus gigantea? They got stuck in there, and they died, and that fed the plants that way. I don't know, but as I said, I'm doing a lot of experiments, but my result with urea, which is really strange because all the books and uni lectures say that urea is unique with glucose. It goes straight through the cell membrane passively. There's no active transport, and it can't be held out, they say. So it goes straight through the cell membrane, unless there's some sort of weird Casparian strip going on with our sort of group of plants, I don't know. But we're dealing with lower group members, orders of plant, mosses, liverworts and all that sort of thing, lycopods and things like that, and they don't have a basic transport system. They don't really have roots, rhizoids at best. I mean, it's far-fetched that, you know, they've got something special going on already. Yeah, anyway, very strange, you know. You think, one, it would kill the plants, two, it would make something happen, but neither of those scenarios turned out. Did absolutely bugger all. Didn't kill the plants, didn't make them do anything really, apart from a slight greening of the leaves, but there was no growth associated with that greening, you know, no new massive leaves coming out or anything. So anyway, so I think in relation to these group of plants, nitrogen is not the master key element of all plant growth. It's something else. So we're going to find out, and I think we're getting pretty close now. As I said, we're into the international standard, the sand culture. You know, you've got to get to the international standard because otherwise your results don't count. They'll say, you know, peat is an ill-defined medium, and straight away they just disregard your results. Oh, you're still using peat? But then again, if you're using charcoal as a substitute for peat, they may actually have to sit up and take notice, because charcoal can be very well defined because you can make it yourself, and you can make it from very clean, what do you call it, stock? What do they call those things? You know, you take a feedstock, you can make it from a very pure feedstock that you select or make yourself. You could do it from a plastic, you could turn a plastic into a charcoal. So you could get a very clean, organic feedstock plastic and turn it into inorganic charcoal, in quotes, if you want to class charcoal as inorganic, you know, just pure carbon in a way. And you can take all sorts of things, you know. Doesn't have to be a plastic. It could be a sugar. So yeah, anyway, you know, put some sulfuric acid on it and turn it into charcoal sort of thing. But anyway, that's about it for this one, I think. Yeah, look at the grey clouds scene. I'm not going to get any sunlight on these things, but they look absolutely fantastic in the sunlight. So maybe another day we'll look at the sunlight and go from there. Anyway, over and out from mid-May 2023, and I think 2024 next year is going to be an absolutely cracker of a year. Fireworks and ice cream and everything, I think. Yeah, along with lots and lots of public executions, I would think, post-election. Yeah, so hang on to your hats. Don't, as I said, be ye not afraid, because it's got nothing to do with us. We didn't cause the trouble. We're just the receivers of all the troubled times, the troubles sort of thing, due to unscrupulous people doing stupid and silly things they shouldn't be doing, and not following the orthodoxy, I suppose. Following the rules, their own rules, you know. Yeah, I know. That's why